What is going on, guys? Right away, sorry for audio. It's internal audio from the Sony a6600 or the iPhone, depends on which one is going to be picking up the audio better. But today we have a guest, which is Edelkrone Slider 1, V2 apparently. This one is making a little bit suspicious noise, and I recently purchased one, or this one. And it's amazing. It's working perfectly nice. But speaking of which, working perfectly nice, I want to see what is going on inside and might it need some lubrication. That's why I have some silicone grease right here, as well as some of the common tools, which is the Phillips head screwdriver. We have two screws inside right here. Not sure if we're gonna need to undo them, but yeah. Oh my God, this magnet. Also, we have Edelkrone provided tools, which is two Allen key. So before going any further, I'll just gonna pop the battery and we'll show you what is. Oh, that didn't go well. Hi. So I'm gonna turn it on, the controller. Let's put it on 100% and let's slide to the left. Basically, what I don't like is that kind of grinding noise. In my head, it needs a little bit of cleaning. And how do we do the cleaning? Of course, we're gonna do the teardown. I understand the basic principle of what is going on with that slider. Might be it's dry fluke, that's why I have that silicone grease right here. So let's start undoing 4 corner screws. We're also gonna need to undo the slider plate. The plate right here is adjustable, so it does have play back and forth, and the wheel is gonna be sliding. As you can see it right now, in particular state, there's supposed to be little gaps in between of the plate with the wheels. So this is like this one component made out of 3 separate things, which is unfortunately need to be disassembled. And I will remove that one. Technically we can leave the screws there, but I'm not to remove them. So you ask me, why do you want it to disassemble it? It working, just keep it there. Don't do stupid stuff like you're doing right now. I don't know, I just like to see what is going on inside, and sometimes it goes with the car the same way as I like to see what is inside. Inside or under the cover or some sort. So this plate, as I can see, probably indeed can be slide out, and we can see that the belt is kind of that little jam right here. Now we simply can go underneath and undoing those screws right here. And undo the screws. And we'll try to pop that cover right here. It's a quite interesting setup. Sort of can be popped out. Let's get the plastic spatula. Oh, okay. So we have our gear right here. We have our belt, we have our motor, and apparently this gear is supposed to go onto the belt, tension, and put it back together as it was. So that is pretty cool. Same way, they're a little bearing, and the quality is really good because if they install in the bearing on some sort of gear like that, that is already a really good situation, a really good scenario. And that's the not crimp niche nichen. Beatty HTD 5223M 1911 099. So if in any case, you would need one of those belts. There you go. But as for right now, it's, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. This gear cannot be slide out, but I just wanted to see now where does it pops in. So there Allen. Oh, okay. As for motor right here, one huge question is this setup right here would do something to the motor. So it's loose. Oh yeah, I think that's the way it's holding. Let's undo this screw and see. Oh, this is the position. God damn it. But I definitely would want to add a little bit of lubrication. And this is really powerful motor. Also, we have this screw right here, which is sort of adjustable screw. What this washer is. And that's the washer, spot for the washer. That's the spring, which were supposed to be right here. So that's quite interesting design. Getting more and more parts. At this point, I simply would add a little bit of grease onto the shaft, and I could clean it up, but might as well to just go ahead and add some grease onto it. I'm not gonna go any farther than that, and we'll start with our washer. God damn it. So a washer go that way, then let's figure out the position of the motor. There's nice wires. The motor should be saddled on that washer right there, which is, I think it did set itself up. Now we want to put these two screws back. And they are sort of adjustment screws. At this point, they shouldn't be tight because we'll need to adjust the position of the gear. And that's where the spring right here comes to play. So we'll put in the spring here, pushing it down, and put in the screw back. This one gotta be tight, I mean relatively tight. As long as I can move the motor back and forth. It's got a little bit of clicking in terms of how far it goes. The central bolt doesn't have to be tight, and that's where that slack is kind of getting away. I'm not going to be putting the grease anywhere else. I'm going to clean up the silicone grease that I've been using. And we'll wipe this area right here, since we don't want to see that dust. This plate is just a protective plate for the microscam. We'll try to remove that one. And there you go. We have all the connectors. That's the power, comes from the battery. That's our motor. Stepper motor 11HS20 0674S. Let's prepare to pull the battery out. see how it goes. Okay, so I have a little theory here. If your slider is basically working, you can hear the motor is spinning, but it does not engage with the gear. The slider, the plate is not moving with the camera, and it's kind of grinding. That's going to be the gear right here. It's a replaceable part, and as you can see, we got to the point where we found where it's connected, which is right here at the bottom. We can undo that, undo the motor, pull the gear out, and basically they're going to fix the issue. So apparently the gear is not metal or aluminum. It's simply plastic. It doesn't change anything since they had multiple revision of this slider, and they have experience with those parts, and I'm assuming that stuff is working as it should. So I'll clean the grease where it shouldn't be any grease. And I think at this point we are free to start assembling everything back. Let's pop this protective plate first. So it seems like it's working much quieter at this point, but we'll see how does it work under the load and when we're gonna put everything on top of it. From the parts, we got one thing to pop it back, just the rubber piece. Then we simply need to get our belt. So this is here. This is there. This plate will go right here. Or actually we can install the plate. Yeah, that's gonna be the right way to doing it. So we can slide the plate as far as we need. Then we can get our motor, or the belt slided where it's supposed to be. As for the belt, I align it right at the bottom right here. So I didn't shift it all the way. Since why? Make sure it pops everywhere. Indeed it did. So also, that would be nice if you can sort of jam it something inside and make it align perfectly. Don't want to go too crazy since it's fine. For the other side, I want to keep a little bit bigger gap, since I know the one and the other side had similar gap. Nice. And we have that little bit of slack, which is supposed to be there, but it doesn't have any slack like from side to side, up and down. So if we're gonna have something on top that's gonna be sitting as it should. And the last thing is to pop those 4 screws right here. And make sure our motor is not slipping, because if it's slipping we need to okay, I think we are succeeded here. Let's pop the battery and hope for the best. Nice. The build quality is insane for this product, and I really like the idea of this slider since it's so small and small form factor. That means you can get it in your backpack. I think the mission was successful. Working, it's still whining, the motor whine, but it does not produce that grinding sound, which was kind of annoying to the point of I'm getting worried that some internal components get worn out. As I seen, this belt is kind of a little bit messed up and so on and so on. So that was what was the purpose of this video, and that's why we took it apart. But I learned a lot in terms of adjusting and how it looks from the inside, since you can feel this tension Same what probably gonna be with the head one and the pan and tilt one, because if it's not adjusted properly, that's where you might gonna have the jiggling in terms of high extended lens or 200 mil or the macro lens. That's where people complaining when the speed of the slider is exceeding 70% or some sort of, that's where they start seeing those jiggling and those artifacts. And that's where the adjustment of the motor, making it tighter or making it looser, would help or would improve this jiggling. Same with the head one. I don't know. We'll test it out and we'll see how it goes. As far as right now, I did use it a few times. I have shot my model. You can see what I done with it. But my plans for the future is to have this car in the car, or as this is the car channel, and sometimes I'm doing the stupid stuff like that, taking apart like parts that are actually working in perfect working condition. But it's just curiosity. I'm really curious how it built, what is inside, and how it been assembled, what kind of motors they use, and tech stuff inside. That's kind of a mind-blowing experience in terms of seeing in person versus just knowing theory. After all, like I said, I will readjust all of those guys, the head one, pan and tilt. If you guys really interested about it, make sure to leave me a comment below. So we're gonna do it together, as well as we did with the Slider 1 V2. And in the future, I might gonna share a few tips and tricks in terms of the slider. If you guys wanted to see more of that stuff, make sure to leave me a comment below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.